welcome to another episode of I.N.SANE's Asylum. The doctor is insane. Anyway, I'm continuing my stabathon of the Halloween-a-thon with Cutthroat. I originally found this movie because I'm a fan of Charles Band's work. So basically, I pretty much got almost every movie that Charles Band ever made, or from Full Moon Streaming, as soon as I could say it right. One thing about the insanity, I can't talk right sometimes. But anyway, this film is more similar to Scream 3, as it's a mystery mass killer doing killings inside of on a director's set. Alright, I'm going to get to the spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled about this movie, I recommend shutting this off. Alright, the movie begins with a girl named Nancy. She's in her living room and her phone's ringing. She thinks it's her mom calling that she lost the keys again. And then there's the doorknobs twitching, and then she opens the front door and nothing's there. She gets a phone call from a guy who's claiming to be a fan and a friend of hers. And don't know if her name's Nancy or Hester. Kind of assuming that's supposed to be a nod at Heather Langenkamp's character, Nancy Thompson, but and why Hester is because there is a character in the movie later on named Heather. But anyway, the whole point is, he says something about her mom and everything, and then Nancy goes up to the upstairs bathroom and finds her mom's dead body in the bathtub. And then she runs from a killer. And then the cops come in through the front door and they shoot the killer, and he falls down the stairs. And Nancy pulls the mask off. It's her dad with duct tape over his mouth. Apparently they're pulling a Halloween H2O on the dad. Alright, then all this was revealed to be a movie inside the movie. We were introduced to the producer manager, Mr. Hunter, along with the director, Hamlin, and the writer, Nick. And Mr. Hunter does not want to throw any more money at the movie. Apparently, this is the only part of the movie they have made so far, and Mr. Hunter is not willing to donate any more money to Nick and Hamlin. Anyway, we're on the scenes of the sets. Hamlin's trying to get a good scream out of this one actress named Lori. And apparently there's the actress that played Nancy, Nina James. Apparently they're working with the guy playing with the killer named Ronnie, trying to get a good stab, but trying not to hit the blood packs. And then a few seconds later, the killer jumps out of the window and stabs Nina in her chest a few times, killing her, real stabbing. And then Lori screams, and Hamlin says, "Now that's a good scream." Anyway, some kind of satisfied reaction. Anyway, he liked her scream. Anyway, Detective Harding comes and questions them about the murders. And then Hamlin's ex-girlfriend, Samantha, is offered to be the replacement role for Nina, to be the lead character. And we're introduced by Samantha and her dim-witted but hot friend Heather. Samantha Cheeks and Heather Roberts. And their agreement was if they would give a role to Heather in the movie, she would be all in for it. So Heather is meant to have a death scene in the bathroom. And they're meeting the producer's worker named Skylar. Anyway, she asks Samantha if she would hold her clipboard while she films something, and she uses her camera to mock Lori, because Lori's a stuck-up bitch. Anyway, this is the last time we see Skylar alive. Heather's getting ready. Heather and Lori are doing a shoot where she's getting ready to go to the bathroom, and then sort of like she runs into the real killer. I'm jumping too ahead. Anyway, while investigating Nina's murder, Skylar earlier on discovers a body in the basement, which is later on revealed to be Ronnie. I forgot to add all that in. Sorry, I forget a lot more than I remember in this movie, to be honest. So I might leave a lot more important stuff out. But anyway, Heather runs into the current actor behind the mask, which is a guy named Colt. First of all, she runs into a killer. Then she runs into Colt, who she thinks was the same guy she ran into in the bathroom. I'm also forgetting the costume manager, which, by the way, we never really see her alive, a girl named Susan. When Heather and Samantha go into the costume room, we see the killer dragging away Susan. And it's like later on they see Susan's body and the killer runs out of the costume room without even attacking them. And then back to the bathroom scene again with Lori and Heather. They do a retake and Heather's getting ready to go to the bathroom, and then she has her back to her, and the decoy killer, which is Colt again, comes up from behind and grabs her, and then Samantha thinks this is real, so she starts attacking Colt. So once again, ruining the film. And then on their way out, they find Skylar's camera on the floor. Heather picks it up and then kind of makes some taunting filming of Samantha. And as she moves the camera from her eye, you can see a blood circle around her eye, indicating there was blood on the eye lens of the camera. So indicating that Skylar might be dead. Next up, it's sort of like they didn't go to the bathroom. And then sort of like Samantha finds a knife. I don't know if it's supposed to be a prop knife or a real knife, but she picks up the mask and the knife. And it's like Heather turns around and sees the knife, and then she screams and runs into the bathroom stall, and Colt's on the crapper. And then sort of like they both run away, and then Colt sees the killer and he says, "That's it, I quit." And this is the last time we see Colt, so the fate of Colt is unknown. But I'm assuming he got stabbed and killed. But later on, his name does get mentioned, so he might have survived. I'm trying to think. Samantha and Heather are both then invited on. Anyway, the film is called Death Switch. Bloody hell, I forgot what the name of the film inside the film is supposed to be. But that's something. Anyway, they do an interview. And once again, I'm forgetting the name. Interview with Robin Barnett. And it's like Robin Barnett interviewing them, and apparently Heather's saying too much about Samantha that she's not supposed to, like that Samantha and Hamlin once dated, and telling her to stay in town when the cop was really asking her if she was planning on leaving town. So Samantha was kind of pissed at her about this, but forgives her a few seconds later. Then it's like Samantha then runs into Nick, and they kind of investigate Skylar's apartment, and they find out that Skylar and Mr. Hunter once had a thing. And Heather kind of gets romantically involved with Hamlin. Later on, they're trying to do another shoot, this time with Lori and Samantha on the bed together, and it's sort of like Lori opens the door, the killer goes in, and we hear Hamlin calling him Colt. So this is what I kind of mean. Maybe Colt didn't get killed. But Samantha runs. And by the way, she was really seeing Mr. Hunter getting stabbed. So she went up to check on Mr. Hunter's body. And then later on, Nick and Samantha kind of make a plan to trap the killers themselves. Nick suggests not going to the police yet, so what they do at first is Samantha sits on that bed and waits for the killer. The lights go out, and they're expecting Nick to be up above to shoot the killers, but the lights go out and the killer goes after Samantha. Nick's nowhere to be found. Both of the killers are going after her. She manages to hit one of them with a plank, and then she runs down the stairs, and she kicks the other one down the stairs. And then she runs into Nick, which Nick had a plan B. In this plan B, what they do is that he has costumes, backup costumes of these killers. So what he does is they both dress up as the killers and put duct tape on their shoes to identify the difference between them and the killers. So then they both go out and separate to look for the other killers. And then Samantha kind of teams up with one of the killers, and they go into a room, and we see Heather tied up, and then the killer stabs her in the chest and kills her, apparently. And it was like, as they're leaving the room, Skylar's body, I'm assuming it was Skylar's body, I didn't get a good look at the body, but some woman's body goes swinging down from the ceiling, and it scares Samantha. She screams, indicating the other killer that that's not really his partner. So the other killer starts chasing her around, and it's like another one of the masked characters joining the picture, and it turns out that that one's Nick. So Nick and Samantha both unmask. And then they both pointed, Nick's pointing a gun, Samantha's pointing a knife at the other killer, telling him to unmask, and it turns out to be Hamlin. And it was like, Hamlin and Nick kind of look at each other, and then they both start laughing, indicating that Nick was the other killer all along. So then they both try to kill Samantha. They stalk her upstairs. Nick mentions he was going to give Samantha an easy way out by just having her skip town, but she refused. So basically, they then kind of slowly stalk her in the attic. And then Heather reveals to still be alive. Apparently she was wearing a chest protector when she was being stabbed. So she points a gun at both of them, and then it was like Hamlin was saying he bets Heather doesn't have the guts to use the gun. And then Heather ends up shooting him. And then she tried to tell Nick to drop the gun. Nick shoots her, and she falls down dead. Apparently dead again. So Samantha and Nick decide to have a final showdown as both of them put on their mask. And then they both fight to the death. One of them has the other one pinned, and that one doing the pinning stabs the other one. And that one gets back on its feet and removes its mask, revealing Samantha has won the fight and has survived. And then we cut to some time later, as Dana Brown, a reporter we see on and off every once in a while, interviews Samantha, and also interviews Heather, who's revealed to still be alive once again. And sort of like they're planning on making sequels to the Death Switch, or Death Switch, some name like that. And then it's like Dana Brown cuts off the promo saying something like, "We'll see the killer instance in them," and then we see some character switch to the killer looks. I can't really explain it. Hey, I'll admit I'm an idiot myself. Anyway, let's just say it like this: Samantha and Heather survived. There. Nick and Hamlin are the killers. Anyway, that's all for this episode of I.N.SANE's Asylum. The doctor is out.